Hey everybody, you know what time it is. I know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Syntext Live. I hope everybody is doing absolutely fantastic out there. First things first, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up and let you know this is the very first time we are going to be on X at the same time. But for right now, something is just hitting me in my peripheral vision. And it makes me want to go, what the fuck is going on here? Because yes, I have added stuff to the soundboard. We have a $20 super chat from Brian Kemp. And you actually got ahead of me there, Brian. Just want to let you know after I read this. He says, missed out last Wednesday. Was called back into work. Enjoyed the one-off stories. Thanks. We actually got I got called out on that. Some folks want the series. It's getting difficult considering how much time I have to spend outside. I just split and stacked another cord of wood. That was all sorts of fun. Plus, I had to bring my dad around today. And we got another. Hold on. Oh, yeah, sure. Now the soundboard doesn't want to work. You got I swear, something about this hates me. But anyway, well, that'll come in later. We got another $5 super chat from Douglas Scarborough. And again, you guys got ahead of me before I got everything out. Before, I want to say this before I went too deep. Because there were so few videos that came out this past week, everybody who donated last week, everything will be expanded. I'm grateful you guys sent, but I'm not an asshole, guys. I'm not an asshole. I'm a dick by choice. So let me write this down so you guys actually get plussed up as far as you get there. And holy gee.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
No, something is right. We got another $5 super chat from Erica Gem. Says, thank you for all your hard work. Well, thank you for actually being here, Erica. Very much appreciate it. And she's out here being so truly outrageous. Wow, you guys are going faster than I can actually throw things up. And all I can say is then we got SS Demon in here. And he says, hey, everybody, can't stay out to dinner with my friend who is back from Japan. You lucky mother. Oh, I'd love to go to Japan, but sorry, because you mentioned Japan, had to throw an Asian one up there. And oh crap, let me get back there. But yeah, they're lucky. I've always wanted to go there. Just want to say hi and wish everybody well and have a good night, everyone. Well, you have a much better night, Demon. I hope you are. And just so you guys know, I have no idea about the whole XP thing. And we also got a $10 super chat from MTF Guard. You guys are going to make me break my hand here. I'm not complaining. And he says, here's your weekly paycheck. And hey, thanks for the one wood related video you posted. It reminds me I still need to get started on cutting wood at my place for the winter. Oh, yes, the good wood. Yep, that one. We'll be talking about that. Why does that keep shrinking down? What the hell is going on with that? I don't know why that keeps doing all that shit, but okay, sorry. This thing's starting to play games with me, folks. Again, every time I add something on here, it gets a little crazy. I'm still working on the whole live stream bit. I am trying, guys. And thank you so much, everybody. And where's my nope, I didn't put it in there. I wanted to get the dog with the you're awesome, but you guys know that I can only put so many still images. And let's face it, you guys like it when I say, but. So as far as the whole XP thing, guys, I don't know what's going on with that. That has got to be some sort of X thing, formerly Twitter, which I used to call Tweaker because before Musk got a hold of it, everybody just tweaked out on it so much. And it's crazy. But before we go any further, let's pop a top. And I raise a glass to everybody's health. I hope you guys are doing awesome today. And let's hope tonight goes just as good. So let's get right into the podcast. As you guys know, we go through after the intro and everything, we get started. And we're going to be jumping into the covering of last week. So let's start this off right with the oh man, sometimes I swear I want to kill this thing. Come on, start up, you pain in the ass. Hey, I can actually hear it spinning, which is kind of weird because that's a solid hard drive. Come on, you pain in the
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
All right. Oh, not that one. Add to stage, you pain in the... There we go. All right. This is the one that kind of like threw everybody off. I heard that humans can really drink. There was a few fun comments that came up. And hold on, I gotta double check something really fast. And okay, we're good. This one was actually suggested by someone a long time ago. Because as you know, at the end, what would happen if you can no longer drink? And there was a lot of comments in there. It's like, you can't get drunk? Oh my God, what am I going to do? Holy God. Is it worth the trade-off? To me, it is. But you got to think of it this way. Even in science fiction, in comic books, Captain America cannot get drunk. Wolverine cannot get drunk until he actually grabs an entire bottle of the hardest stuff in the entire bar and swigs it straight up. They showed that in the Deadpool movie because after about maybe 2 or 3 minutes, the guy got up and he was sober as a bird. Well, not the birds around here because I put liquor in the bird bath. So anyway, I'm kidding. But yeah, is that a good trade-off? I think so. There's a lot of comments on there on different types of potential non-terrestrials getting drunk on different stuff. A lot of people don't know this, but insects, and particularly arachnids, get completely blitzed, hammered, drunk off caffeine. I'm not even joking. They will actually throw up. You didn't think that was physically possible, but they will get so drunk they throw up. They sit there and stagger. It's kind of funny to watch. If you have any that start licking at the coffee that you had in the morning, you're going to watch them start zigzagging. Well, with ants and stuff like that, you can't really tell. But it still is a thing. Why does that keep doing that? Anyways. So a few of you brought up some very interesting things. And yes, the Clydes. And I'm amazed nobody actually got the names of everybody in there. Do you guys realize where that came from? Inky, Binky, Pinkies, and Clydes? That's the Pac-Man ghosts. And I guarantee a few of you were like, oh, shit. That's right. That's where I heard it from. But that's where the names came from. And as you know, I was playing games with the names all week. They were wondering what the Clydes would think of moonshine since they got hammered off things like actual ethyl alcohol. I wonder, considering their Xenos, what would their body think of mead? You know, liquor that comes made from honey. And if I still had bees that were going, my bees died last year and I just haven't got any more. How would that affect them? I'm thinking, considering that honey's been used for fertility, it might make them, I don't know, a little tipsy, a little fun. And they might say stuff that make you go, excuse me? I don't know what's going on. So, excuse me. Sorry, I had to get that down. And that came up. All right, the next one that actually came out was... Motherfucker, I swear. Add to stage, you pain in the ass. All right. Their battleships breathe fire just like dragons. Yes, dragons in space. Well, it's better than pigs in space. Yeah, didn't want to do that. However, this one actually came up. Space Doc actually helped me with this one. And so did Sacred Cow Shipyards and stuff like that, because they were talking about how heat is difficult to dissipate in space. It's almost impossible, really. Which, as you know, if you're in an actual slug match, as in you're at distances where you cannot see each other, well beyond visual range, and you're blasting at each other with God knows what type of weapon systems, especially energy weapons, you're going to build up a lot of freaking heat. We're going to go over different weapons here in a minute as far as sci-fi goes. But for right now, let's stick with this. Now, what do you got to do? You can't break the rule because, let's face it, the laws of thermodynamics are stuck. You're in a three-dimensional universe at this point. Laws of thermodynamics are still there. However, the law that cannot be broken can always be bent. That is universal. So what do? If your coolant system isn't robust enough, if no coolant system is robust enough, you find a workaround. All they did was basically use a sprinkler system to spray the weapons with water, which steamed off, and just like you perspiring, there goes all your waste heat out into the ether somewhere. Easy enough. And guess what? You don't have to have the biggest guns to have fire superiority. You just have to keep fucking shooting. Why do you think the M249 saw is such a big deal? The round is no bigger than an M16. In actuality, if the M16 or M4 runs out of ammo, you can just pop them off the belt from the 249, put them through there. It's the same exact round. Is it the biggest round? No, but you can put down 850 rounds a minute if you just hold that trigger down, cyclic rate, and don't worry about that first barrel burning off. Because yes, it will. I've seen them glow before, which was kind of funny. At the machine gun range, we're right next to the 240, and I didn't think this would actually happen to me, but I'm sitting there firing my 240, and one guy walks up, he goes, "Nice shooting," puts his cigarette on the barrel, lights it. Yeah, do that again at the 800-meter target. Of course, when I bullseyed the 800-meter target, he goes, "You're a fucking show-off. You know that, right?" Anyway, I'm off in the weeds. I know you guys like the names. Let's face it, I just had to. Yeah, it all came down to the ack species. I just wanted something funny, something for you guys to sink your teeth into, and thankfully that joke didn't go, no. Now, I do have to say this, and this goes for anybody who's actually designing any type of story out there. If you're going to do this, if you mention a territory, if you're doing a short story like this one is a one-off, just saying the territory is just a broad spectrum. If it's a one-off, that's one thing. If you're doing a multi-chapter story, like you're writing an actual book, you need to be specific. The devil's in the details here. And somebody brought this up to like, human territory, how big is that? How many planets? How wide? How this is? And what about the aliens that are already on Earth? This was not focused on that. All right. I've done other stories that do that. This one's just not. However, again, if you guys are writing a more in-depth story, please, 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 for the love of God, get your details in there. All right, for the one that actually got a lot of people questioning, especially about this thumbnail. Guys, I did not design this. This was done on an image search. You can actually see on the bottom where I screwed up the editing just a little bit, the bottom and the top. I didn't actually widen it enough. This I didn't make. I did not use CGI. Simple image search, that's it. So as far as I know, it was suggestive, guys. It was meant to. You can always count on humans to have good wood. Well, yeah. And so I saw somebody in the comments section actually say, yeah, you got to get ready for winter time, get everything squared away. It was about good neighbors. Absolutely. There was a detail in there I hope you guys actually saw, is the fact that the year for this planet that they're on is not 365. It's 840 to 850 days, which means their winter is what, 7 or 8 months long by human standards? That's a lot of wood you're going to need. And you can't just go and cut it and rip it down and think it's going to burn. Only certain foliage will do that. Birch trees will do that. In particular, birch bark will do that. It can be soaked and it'll still light. You just can't do that with any just random foliage, especially something like pine. There's too much resin in there. And if it's too wet and you actually do get it hot, it's going to fucking explode. So you got to season that shit. It's got to be down for several months. I got like 3 or 4 cord outside. I probably got another 2 to 3 that's got to get done before the winter. And I burn through about 3.5 at this house each year. So anyways, I'm off in the weeds. Sorry. You know what? Hold on. I'm off in the weeds. So that should be, where's that damn button? Here it is. I'm so far out in the weeds. Crazy. Speaking of crickets, yes, it was kind of a take on the ant and the grasshopper. Not fully, because the grasshopper knew what was coming and didn't give a shit. The ant knew what was coming and actually did. These ones here, they didn't understand because they never came from a death world. The death worlds, as far as science fiction is concerned, are classified by the number of natural events that are there to kill you. They can also be rated on how lethal each event is. This one's just a change in seasons. And since most species on this story don't have planets that change their own climate, they don't have seasons, they wouldn't be ready for it, which means to them it's a death world because their bodies wouldn't be able to handle it. Pure and simple. Just like you could have a paradise world. If it's seismically active, as in has earthquakes like over in Japan, it's considered a death world because the earthquakes can kill you. Earthquakes can cause tsunamis, which can definitely kill you. You know, that's just how it goes, folks. And that's just how it is. But yes, always got to be a good neighbor, especially when the first year someone's out there, help them get their feet under them. Wow, sometimes I can't even read my own writing. Let's see. I already kind of talked about that. Another comment about the naivete and preparedness, things like that. So I already hit it. Now, you guys are just funny. Sending up a message that was talking about, where are my purple hotties? I'm due for one, or maybe 2. I'm sorry, dude. That was fucking funny. I read that a couple times. Each time I chuckled. I was like, that is just great. That is just freaking awesome. So that is just, that's where I am right now. Let's jump back here. And now, here's what we're going to do. We are going to go into the media assets. Now, you guys actually sent me more videos. However, I screwed up. I screwed up because I did not have them labeled right. And when they saved, they got all scrambled. So I'm going to see what I can do about throwing a couple in here. We all know this one, of course. Putting one right down inside the driver's hatch. Every time I see that, I'm like, dude, you wouldn't even feel that. The last thing you would think is, well, let's just say the last thing going through your head is an explosive. So here, let's see if this one's a new one here. Well, that was guided ordnance, wasn't it? We'll come back to these as we keep going down. Let me get back to the comment section here to make sure everything's good to go. And yes, I got the comment section. I've been seeing a few of these. Yeah, War Sniper for sure. Morning wood. Good wood needs good safety measures. Yeah. Hey, I got cords outside that are covered in plastic. You always need to protect your wood. So anyways, Let's see, Lena. If the planet's not tropical, then yes, you could get winter months. Absolutely, absolutely, or desert. You know, that sort of thing. Now, I would say rainforest, but the fact of the matter is, up by the southern part of Alaska and a lot of Canada, that's actual rainforest. It's called a temperate rainforest. It is cold. Holy shit, it's cold. And what is going on here? Hold on a sec. Oh, I can't believe that did. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, son of a bitch. All right. I'm going to just remove that then. Hold on a sec. Whatever. Nope. Fuck it. Sorry, guys. Had a little issue here because apparently I tried to get this on X. It was going, but it dropped for some reason. I don't know why. It just did. So we're here on YouTube still, so we're good. Maybe one of these times I'll actually get on Rumble too. All right, to change things up, I'm sure a few of you guys saw Space Doc with the science fiction weapons. I like their channel. I do. I really do like their channel. But there's some issues. And by that, I said they missed some very important details. I know they're always trying to get more and more content out. Who the hell isn't? Because you got to fight the algorithm. The algorithm is still friggin' sticking their fist up my ass. And it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. But anyway, because of that, alarm going off, Ernest. Oh shit, that's not good. Anyways, as far as weapon system goes, he wanted to do fixed weapons. He said spinal mount, but they're not always spinal mount. They can be attached as long as they're fixed. Okay, fixed weapon systems are usually the most powerful because even as they said in that video, you're basically locking in directly to the engine compartment. You have an incredible high amount of power that is being siphoned into that weapon system. Not to mention, you don't have turrets fighting the movement of your actual ship. You're not firing stabilizers constantly, trying to make sure you're staying on target. What? Stay on target? Anyways. Yes, that's the key point is you have more power. More power. Oh, yeah, gotta love that more power. Especially during a slug match. Again, at distances well beyond anything a drone or a fighter or anything else is going to do, you are simply lobbing rounds and electric, or I should say energetic or ballistic, it doesn't matter. You are lobbing crap at distances that would take probably 30, 40 minutes for the enemy to actually hit you. And if you're firing at light speed with an actual energy weapon, yeah, you can cross a pretty long distance in just a couple of seconds. Now, what's more often than not going to happen with most of these ships is the bow of the ship, if they want to actually be in fleet battles, is going to be covered in fixed spiral or fixed weapon emplacements, and they're going to fire in volleys. The only place I see this used commonly is Gundam. I'm not a huge fan of Gundam. They kind of got all, I don't know how to put this, but they got all, I don't know. Gundam Wing just kind of, I look at it now and go, what the hell is that? I don't watch Gundam for teenage angst. I watch it for Gundams blowing shit up. That's what I watch it for. But at least in the fleet battles, when they're doing slug matches, they line up and you'll see them in volley right down, and they're firing as many as they can to cover a vast area. A standard slug match is, as far as I'm concerned. Now, he was sitting there talking about, oh, how are you going to adjust the bow so you can hit your target that fast that's moving in from the flanks? Do you have any idea the distances covered at this? This is why when I do series, you'll notice that a lot of these battles last unless you're jumping into the middle of a formation, these battles last a long time. I might run through them fairly quick, but you're talking probably an hour's worth of fighting. At least something where I talk for about maybe 7-8 minutes. Now they did now I don't know if they actually put it in, but when I used to read the, well, it wasn't fully out yet. Reborn as an evil lord or whatever. He actually mentioned, when is the battle going to start? They're like, the battle's been started for 10 minutes. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. These space battles take a long time. No shit. And that's why you want your fixed weapons. Now, if you're firing ballistic weapons, you might have to get a little closer. Chemical pushing weapons, definitely got to get closer. Energy weapons, not so much. And one of the beauties that you've noticed I use a lot, and I don't know why they don't use this in science fiction more often. They did it in Babylon 5, but that's probably why they don't put it in anyone else, is when you fire that laser and you're literally slicing through the air. And you're just like a giant, since it takes a second to get there, it's actually going to look like it's bending, but it's not. You're actually dragging it across. And I kind of wish one of you guys would do like a CGI maybe, or draw it to show how that would actually operate if you fire this main gun and you turn your ship, how as it's traveling, it's still going to point A, but the ship is already turned. So by the time it's reached there, it's just dragging across a few seconds behind. That would be that would be something. All right. What's Yep, that's pretty much what I want to go over. And turrets have their place. Turrets definitely have their place. They're usually lower powered just because, you got to have all the extra gadgets with it. However, once you get close, you get in a knife fight, which is almost within visual range as far as space combat goes. Turrets are going to be a necessity. Point defense is absolutely. All right, that's enough of that. Let me go back in here, see what's the other. Oh yeah, here's the one. Who wants to kick a field goal?
That's short. Adjust up. Shot fired. Target destroyed.
Every time I see that, I just want to do this. Touchdown! Or 3 points and a field goal. That's what that one is. All right. Let's see. Where was I here? Okay. One of the other things to just remember if you're putting everything together is your gravity. That's usually a wave off in most live action science fiction because they do not know how to simulate it correctly. Centrifugal gravity has a lot of problems. They've only shown it once or twice in science fiction. And one of the main things is if you're not facing a certain way, say you want to pour something in this glass, you go to pour it, and the force, the centrifugal force, actually might pull your drink sideways. So you actually have to shove that bottle actually deep inside for it to work. Deep inside, giggity. So, anyways, let's see. Down. I'm gonna quit on that stuff. I'm gonna go down here to the rest of my notes. Just so you guys know, something familiar will be coming out Sunday, just like it always does. It might be a shorter episode than you're used to, but it is coming out. I know I skipped last week, but I was so far beyond busy, it's not even funny. Had a lot of family stuff I had to deal with. All right. Down to some of the pop culture stuff, guys. The Superman stuff came out. The actual, not just the critics, but the audience was coming out. A lot of the audience, diehard Superman fans, are beyond pissed because they changed Superman's parents. And I haven't seen it, so I'm going by what was told to me. Superman's parents turned out to be not just people who were desperately trying to save their son, which was the original message. No, now you realize they're copying off of Dragon's Balls, where he was sent there to conquer. They turned Superman into Omni-Man. That's what they turned him into. But instead of sending him as an adult with a goofy friggin' pedo stash, they're sending him over there as a child to what? Go through puberty so that he boinks everything in sight? He was raised different. And that was key to the character. I mean, you can't. Why somebody would change that, I don't know, but they're fucked in the head. That's straight up fucked in the head. Now, a lot of the critics were praising it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Then the audience came out and go, I did not pay the money to come here to watch some sort of social justice crap. And then you changed Superman, at least his parents, and tried to make him into the villain. Why can't people get a decent amount of escapism? It's so bad that they almost killed the MCU right at the end when they brought in Captain Marvel. Oh, she's so powerful. She is the new Avenger. She is the Avengers. Oh, kiss the darkest part of my ass. This is just, it was terrible. It's one of the few movies I actually walked out of. I'm like, this is horrible. It's just terrible. And I don't walk out of movies that easy. It's got to really, really suck. Anyways, then I still remember the cringe moment in Endgame where they got the glove and they're like, she can't make it there alone. She's not alone. And every female character magically shows up at this one point just to expose their face. And then, Pepper Potts pulls the thing back and then covers herself up again. I'm like, why in the ever-loving fucknuts did you do this? The entire audience, children included, went, oh, what the? And I was just like, oh, dear God. And I didn't feel bad about the fact that I'm watching and you see the red and blue flash and it's something really fast is coming through the atmosphere. What is it? And it hit me right before they showed her. And I go, oh, the bitch is back. And then I'm surrounded by kids. And saying that in front of kids that are very impressionable, I could have, been popped in the face and I would have deserved it. I looked over at one guy who had like 4 or 5 kids around. He's laughing. And I'm just like, whew, okay. It almost killed it. It almost did. They gotta keep politics out of it, which is why I separate this channel from my other channel. The other channel is almost exclusively in politics and things that are gonna piss you off. This channel is for escapism, folks, so we can actually take a break from life. Even though I do hard science fiction, giggity, and I don't try to bullshit your way through, okay? This is something, I try to do things you can sink your teeth into so you can forget about life for a while without listening to Piano Man. All right. Where was I here? Oh, another one where they're destroying a series. It comes to find out the director of the last 3 or 4 of the Star Wars actually said he was doing it randomly. Everything was, as he put it, random slop. Hold on. My brain is coming back. What the fuck? That's where my brain is at. I'm like, you took one of the most established series ever, and you bent it over and shoved your fist up it, and instead of turning it into a sock puppet for a show, you just waved it around in the air to see what falls out. My brain hurts. Ugh. Oh man. That was just wrong. It was just wrong on so many levels. Although I guarantee he's pulling one of these. Gotcha, bitch! Yeah, because he still got paid. Although, speaking of Star Wars, I have it right here in my notes. And I want to put this in the good wood. However, I thought this was going to be pushing it too far as far as suggestive humor in that one. but it comes from the Mando. Now, think about this. The Nurple, which were purple, hint, hint, if you know where this is going, you know what I'm talking about. They were amphibian-ish. Or no, sorry, they were mammalian. But most of their body was bare. What would they be thinking if they dated one of us? Just like that mechanic in The Mandalorian, they would look at guys like me and go, you know, they're furry, quite furry. And I was like, that would be hilarious. Oh my God. If I could put that in some sort of CGI something, that would be absolutely hysterical. That would be just as good as like the aliens versus humans AI vlogs, which are, I got to admit, credit where credit's due. That shit's funny. Huh. They thought I was dead until I heard them say, unzip his pants. I never ran so fast in my life. Yeah, that was still funny. But anyways, I mean, let's face it. It's true. If you're dealing with a species that doesn't have any body hair, like they're bald, like the amphibians ones, you know, the paddywhack or whatever, you know, knickknacks and paddywhacks. Why not? Anyways, let's see down here. You know, let me throw one of these other videos up while we're waiting. I'm not sure what's here. I haven't actually seen them, so.
Harvester shields are dropping.
Friendly fire attacking your target. Friendly fire attacking your target.
Harvester shields back up to 100%.
Titan eliminated.
Mission complete, pilots. Great work.
Okay. I'm guessing that was Planetfall, which is I guess something about an exoframe there. They're not mechs, by the way. Their mechs are very specific. That was an exosuit. Regardless, down here towards the bottom of my notes, only got a couple more things to go over before we jump back into said chats, which, by the way, let me pull up on the comment section here so I'm not totally messed up here. Somebody brought this up to me sometime during the week, and they said the 80s and 90s cartoons got too real for most people, which I have to agree. They definitely got too real for most parents. There was a lot of suggestive things in there. I mean, seriously, have you ever watched Animaniacs? There's friggin' suggestive shit all through that one. Holy shit. But aside from that, even when I was a kid, I mean, a little kid, my sister watched this show called Gem. I didn't realize they were doing things like kidnapping, vehicular manslaughter, attempted murder, and things like that. That went right over my fucking head. But apparently the parents, oh no, that's too real. The kids are going to try to emulate it. No, they're not. One that definitely got too real for most, but it was just an excellent show, was the original Batman the Animated Series. If you ever get a chance to watch that, download it, watch it. You'll see what I'm talking about. And as one reviewer put it, not every ending was a happy ending. Sometimes it's bittersweet at most. And you get an ending. It's just, it's not so cheerful. But what I find is it didn't treat children like they're babies. It actually showed them something to their face. You know, even when, Batman's clone there, robotic clone, they started wondering, does it have a soul? A soul of silicon, but a soul nonetheless. It makes you think. And they were surprisingly good, kind of a little campy, but still good. Now, here's one that screwed everybody up. And I'll tell you what, looking back in the day, it's a wonder more of us don't have body dysmorphia. Was the show He-Man, the original He-Man and Masters of the Universe. seriously, back then it was all He-Man and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Every guy had these freaking huge freaking muscles, and we're all sitting there going, how in the hell are we going to do that? Because that's the way guys' minds work. Is what it is. So yeah, it's definitely body dysmorphia. I mean, it's something to aspire to, but very few people ever have musculature like that. And most people I know that had musculature like that looked strong, but that's a very nice one. They were definitely not strong. Not in the slightest. Actually, it was kind of funny to see a guy whose arms are as big as my freaking torso were rolling, doing combatives, and I got him balled up, and he's not able to buck me off. You know, flex his hip up, flex, and try to get me like out of the mount or out of the guard. He physically can't do it. And he's wondering how somebody who was my size, now I had more muscle on me back then, but who the hell can't say that? And next thing he knows, he's being launched across the room. And he's like, how the hell did you do that? I'm like, easy. My muscles are for go, not for show. Which most of you ladies ought to know this. By the way, most big muscle guys, their muscles will deflate, and then you got nothing but a flying squirrel suit. Yeah, nice one, guard. Catch me if you can, He-Man. I can't do the laugh. I do the voice changer, but it honestly, actually, no, it'd sound like a minion if I did it. Doing this one.
Catch me if you can, He-Man.
Wow, that's Skeletor on helium. The thing is, what I didn't realize till I actually saw as an adult the He-Man, there was a lot of suggestive stuff. Not only in the original, but all the remakes, especially this most recent one. Wow. Just wow. There was a lot of innuendos, and a lot of times those women are giving you the fuck me eyes. And women don't think we notice. We notice when women give us the fuck me eyes. It's just, it makes our shields go up. It makes our alert, red alert, red alert. If I had if you know what, that's one I should put on here is red alert. Do I have anything close? I'm not going to sound general quarters. But anyways. Another show that had a lot of suggestive stuff, not just violence. You'd be surprised how much suggestive stuff. G.I. Joe. The original G.I. Joe. The Baroness was always flirting with someone. If she wasn't flirting with you, she was kicking your ass while flirting with you. It was just crazy. And then you had, you know, Lady J and Scarlet and all of them, and they're always trying to flaunt themselves. I still remember one episode where Lady J, she's supposed to be the rugged one, and she's wearing like a BDU top, you know, battle dress uniform top. She actually gets closer. She starts unbuttoning, you know, more and more, and she's like, so you think this will impress Duke? I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? It's do I have one for that? Yeah, maybe.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
That's all I could think of on that. Now, one episode that did stick out to me, unfortunately, it kind of screwed me up a lot, was when I guess, gangbang, I forget what they called their gang. There was some sort of gangbangers. They had a female in there, and she found a wounded Joe, but they needed each other to get back to civilization. And she kind of caught feelings for him, and he caught feelings for her by the end. And, you know, let's face it, us guys, we want to be the knight in shining armor. So it'll screw you up, because then if you want to be the white knight in shining armor, here's your blue pill, dude. Enjoy that and enjoy the freaking screw over you're about to get. All right. Let me throw another video up here. Let me see where was I? Yeah, I think this is the one doing Overwatch. Hold on. I know what he wanted to say.
Gotcha, bitch.
There you go. Anyway, the last part of my notes before I go into the super chats and the regular chats, but we already went through the super chats. Somebody asked me, could you possibly do Death Note right? And I thought about it. And for those who don't know what Death Note is, it's somebody finds a notebook where if you write the name of something or someone in there, it will die. And it will die pretty much with the heart just stopping. And usually they're scared to death because they see the demon, like how he really is. And it scares them so much that their heart explodes and they just drop. Could I do Death Note right and actually save people? Absolutely. And I wouldn't have to kill any person either. Not really. All I'd have to do is take my wonderful pen and say I wanted to save a bunch of people. All you write is AIDS and HIV, and boom, you just saved a shit ton of people. You made the world a better place. You just got rid of the most infectious and more annoying diseases out there. You could do that with every single virus, every single type of damaging bacteria. You could do that. You could take care of certain parasites that cause mange and everything like that. Holy flying donkey nuts. Could you friggin' do things right? Now, would anyone actually do that? I don't know. But I could think that they could, possibly. So, anyway, that's how I would do Death Note right. If I had the ability to do it, there'd be all of a sudden people that are dying from some sort of, now it wouldn't be able to do anything about cancer. I at least I don't think so. It's possible. All of a sudden, all those kids in like St. Jude's or something, all of a sudden they're healthy. You just got to dig out the parts that are now benign. Okay, wait till they're a little older and then get ready for the only surgery they're ever going to have. Shocker, that's Death Note done right. But a few people are probably like, "Oh no, but it's about horror and this, that, the other thing, and taking responsibility for your issues." If that means I die early, but I save a couple million lives and make the lives better, what'd they say at the end of Sin City? Old man dies, the little girl lives. Fair trade. Oh, got about 2-second delay on that one. All right, before I jump into the chats, we got another video here, another 30-second one. And, I'm going to try something. I'm going to throw it here, and I'm going to do this. Did he just throw a Davy Crockett through a window using a Piet? I don't know what to say about that one. That was moving on. All right, before I jump into the chats, just remember to make sure that you are subscribed, that you are still subscribed. And if you wouldn't mind hitting the likes, I'd appreciate that very much. All right, let me go and jump up here really quick. I'm going to go to the bottom of the super chats, which are way the hell up here. Wow, they are way up here. Wow, holy jumping Jesus. Yeah. There's James saying, shout out to Redonkulous. Yeah, shout out. Yeah. Yep. Hopefully on one of their Tuesday shows here in a couple of weeks. That depends on Pop. For those of you who don't know, that is Grunt Speak Live. And usually their Tuesday show is really serious and their Thursday show is goofy as shit. if you like seeing some very, shall we say, well, let me do it this way. Nice things in the chat box, might I suggest MGTOW.tv. They're the only ones that allow that sort of thing that is much spicier than what you see on the screen. And I'm not talking about myself, at least not right now. So, but yeah, hopefully we can get that up and running. Although he might not like some of the things I said, especially on the Crazy Uncle channel, because Pop was a ranger, and unfortunately, I was the guy sending people to ranger school, and that was a giant clusterfuck if I ever seen one. Okay, yep, everybody's saying bye to Demon here. Stop throwing kissable round things on the screen. What, you don't like my butts? Anyways. See, Guard says, so right now we get XP for sending super chats. Okay, that's cool. I don't know where the XP goes, how that works. War Simple, hope it means that we can chat on Discord soon. Okay. Oh, you talking to Erica, okay. And everyone's saying bye to Demon. James says, I think the crowns are going to whoever chats the most. Okay. I think War Sniper kind of beat you guys because he was on here for a while I was getting everything set up, because I got to set this thing up like an hour in advance. So the chat box is there, but the stream hasn't officially started. Let's see. War Sniper, eating popcorn while watching the live stream. Well, I hope you're enjoying the show. Ernest here. Hey, Ernest. He says, finally made it to work. Getting it in the way of tuning in. Well, yeah, it usually happens. Let's see. Beer on a plate will get rid of slugs. Actually, you don't have to put it on a plate. You literally have to take a can of beer, drink your beer, leave a little bit on the bottom, put it on the ground with the opening towards the bottom or a little bit to the side, and they will literally climb in and die. I don't know why that is. They just do, which is why next growing season, I'm actually going to get a 12-pack, and me and my brother are going to sit outside, chug our beers, leave a little bit in there, and then we're going to go set the traps. War Sniper says, Sin, next time, can you do a picture of someone aiming a M108 50 caliber anti-material rifle with the shout out? Okay. So you basically want a Barrett. And by the way, I actually have one on standby I was going to use. I came across it after I had done everything, and I just hadn't yet, but I have one. So we're good. Erica, there you go. Lost in Space. Watched as reruns as a kid in the 90s. Yeah, danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Yeah. That was some campy shit. Although I do remember one episode, and it was Kurt Russell, the first time he was ever on screen. He was a young kid. He was like maybe 12 years old, maybe 13 at most. And he was actually on that black and white show. And he has a very, very distinct look. He's got that low brow with the squinty eyes, kind of like Clint Eastwood. And I still remember watching it. Now, there was this one scene where his guardian or his father or something is like, well, if the youngest of the Robinsons is better than you, then you need to kill him. No one's allowed to be better than you. Wait a minute. No one's allowed to be better than you? So basically, he's old school Asian then, because that's how a lot of the old samurai and a lot of the old rulers were. If you went into a school, or what they consider school, with their prince or whatever, and you got higher grades, they killed you. And it shows even nowadays. I still remember as a kid, they said never go street racing against Asians because if you win, they kill you and take your car. They'll never honor the bet. And I thought that was bullshit until I actually started talking to a cop, and he said that's exactly what they do. I'm like, oh yeah, that's honorable. Anyway, here's Guard. He says, so I just saw this, but apparently Coca-Cola is finally going to start using natural sugars like cane sugar in there. Sodas here from now on. This one is cane sugar only. And actually, when I'm with you guys, this is the only sodas I drink, which is kind of why I'm so, uppity right now. That being said, the one kicker about cane sugar compared to other sugar, which is considered natural, is the other sugars that you buy in the store come from sugar beets. There is not a single sugar beet on this continent that isn't GMO. That's why everybody went back to cane sugar. Nothing against the sugar beet farmers, but sugar beets should have never been GMO. Do they produce faster? Yes. Did it probably save the farmers? Sure. But maybe they should have just changed to a different crop instead of, I don't know, twisting the genes of whatever they're supposed to be growing. It doesn't, it irritates me. So if you guys go to the store and you get sugar, if you don't want GMO, just look where it says pure cane sugar. It should be labeled right there. War Sniper. I wasn't born yet in the 90s. You're a kid. Damn. What are you, Gen Alpha or something? Gen Z or Z or Zeus or Zombie or whatever the hell it is? I don't know. He also puts in here, the F-22 is finally gone. It's finally gonna have its AI wingmen. Yep, I heard about that. I think with the AI wingmen, those the wingmen aren't stealthy, so you're gonna see you'll know the F-22 is coming. You'll know it's somewhere in that formation, but you still won't be able to lock onto it. The best you got is to take out all the wingmen before it gets there. The thing is, they're going to be action packed with all sorts of ordnance to include defenses and countermeasures of some sort. See, MTF Guard, that show off story was good. I'm guessing show off. Yep. Let's see. Oh, he's wondering if I got the Titanfall. Yep, I showed you one. There's another one still in there, but I'll be going through that some here later. Let's see. We already did the safety measures with good wood. Hint, hint. Always protect your wood, especially when it's in the bush. Let's see. Guard says, no clue why I am rewatching. Is it rewatching the call? I was rewatching Call to the Star story again and just had a random urge to start playing the game again. Okay, I don't know which game you're talking about, but okay. I don't know if there's a game called Call to the Star or Call the Stars.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Well, something is right because we got somebody in here doing a super chat, and I swear to God, this guy eats Prozac and pancakes every single morning. How you doing, Chris? And let me write this down here. And he says, dentist kicked my head in, so I'm not saying much, but cane sugar is the only way to go. Honestly, I stay away from those confections as much as I can. I personally put honey in my coffee every morning, but it's my honey. So yeah, I'm trying to get away from sugar because, well, I've seen the way my family genetics go and I don't want that. Born in 98. Holy shitballs. You're 27. Okay. You're not that young. Old enough to know better, but still too young to care. That's where you are, War Sniper. That's where you're at. All right. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you for that. You are definitely correct that you want to stay into the cane sugar. You don't want to get that GMO shit. And let me see where I was. I don't know where I was. Oh, there it is. Talking about morning wood. Yeah, I don't want to get too suggestive in there. Let's see. Douglas says, I think Earth is by most standards considered a class 13 to 15 death world due to all the different things that try to kill us. Okay, let's count off the basic ones. All right, you got seismic activity. And tsunamis fall under seismic activity, by the way, because that's what sets them off. We have the potential for asteroid strikes. Our area is still got the asteroid belt and everything, so that's 2. We have predators that can hunt us down. We also have the defenses of prey. That actually does count as 1. You also have the changing of the season. That's another one. Disease is a big one. Now, the thing is, with diseases, it actually breaks down bacteria, viruses, parasite. You're tacking on really, really quick. Each of these could possibly kill you. Now, depending on any other species counting, you could be considered a higher level death world depending on what can kill them. So if they cannot deal with, we'll say, a high nitrogen environment like this, and they need oxygen or else they die, then that ticks them up 1 more. Now, one of the main things that makes us a death world is us. We are very, very violent, hairless monkeys, and we are, well, let's just say we do stupid shit. And before you know it, they're sitting there saying,
Game over, man. It's game over.
You know, I swear I got to somehow get that louder. But yeah, I've never actually counted, but a lot of people say somewhere around class 13. You're right. But then again, it depends on how you count them. If you want to add tsunamis as something different than seismic, then whatever. Because volcanoes fall into seismic as well. Let's see. Leonid, if the planet is not tropical. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. Tropical, not tropical, and you're going to get winter months. That's true. I remember being in Hawaii. I got used to 70 degrees all year round. I mean, it was nice. Unless you're actually doing PT in it, and then you're just pouring sweat. Guard says, I hit that chicken with the Looney Tunes ass death. Okay. Eric is saying, I also like Starbound too. I'm not familiar with that one. I didn't have cable growing up, so some of the stuff is going right over my head. Let's see here. Lena says, Gundam slices things with their laser sword. Apparently, goes back to the energy weapons I was talking about, actually strafing across the fleet. And yes, they do. The physics in Gundams, however, makes my head hurt. Because it's the same physics in Star Wars. How do you use a thermal energy weapon underwater? Oh, wait. You know, it's just, yeah. I'm sorry. As soon as they started using energy weapons underwater, I'm just like, you guys have just gone off the rails so damn far. But yes, if you could get some sort of condensed energy like that, you would have to use it in something the size of a Gundam because the heat coming off of that thing would be absolutely nuts. They actually showed that in the Gundam 8th MS team because they used the energy weapons to melt ice or boil other water so they can make it safe to drink or to bathe into, which I thought was a really neat idea. And they did it not just with the Gundams, but with the Zaku as well, with its friggin' axe. I was like, that's really smart. That's one of the few Gundams I recommend is 8th MS team. Or 8th MS team. MS is just mobile suit. Because they did it up, even though they did some cheesy shit, it was still played pretty close to the chest as far as military based. Apparently, they did another one with a whole bunch of basically 20 some odd year olds, like War Sniper in there, and they apparently it was really good, but I didn't see it. I just, again, I can't binge watch anything now. Let's see. Alan says, would you need to truly? Oh, you would need a truly petawatt laser to cut a ship with a drag shot. Yes, you would, which is why you have to plug it directly into the engine. And we're talking anywhere from 0 point to antimatter driven engines. I mean, that is a lot of force. That's a lot of juice right there. Now, the kicker is, and they don't actually show this in any of the shows. They don't show it in any live action. They don't show it in cartoons. They don't show it in anything. If you have that much juice that you are firing, if that engine was to go critical, the blast from that would shoot an electromagnetic wave so strong that anything within most likely the distance between me and the moon would completely fry, as in fricassee, as in even organics would cook like you're in a microwave. It's just crazy. But, in all the other ones, it just exploded. It's nothing. Yeah, it is something. Let's see. Lenin says, zero gravity is better in science fiction. You can have freedom of movement. Yep. You have to add a few extra things. Again, I will give this to some of the designers in the Gundam stuff. And I think they did it in Robotech too, but Robotech Harmony Gold can, again, find the darkest part of my ass and kiss it repeatedly. Like if they had to go down the hall, they actually had a handle you grabbed onto and just held on and it pulled you down the hall in 0G. Now, the thing is, if you're in 0G for a few days, you're going to start atrophying very, very, very badly. And very few science fictions have actually dealt with that specifically. Battletech, in even their first series, actually talked about this. The clanners had to spend so much time in 0G, they didn't want their elementals to lose their ability to fight, so they developed actually the Star League had developed this before, but they perfected it. It's a take one a day type pill, and it stops atrophy. It won't make you stronger, but you won't lose your muscle mass.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I'm sitting here and I see, what is this? It's Sir. How you doing, sir? Hey, everybody say hi to the sir while you're in the chat. And he sent a $20 super sticker. And nothing else on that. But good to see you're still out and about and kicking some ass, sir. As a reminder for everybody, now I put this out originally in the beginning of the stream, but not everybody was here. Because there was only 3 videos dropped this week, not counting what's dropping tonight. Yes, one is dropping tonight. Everybody will automatically be recycled for at least 1 week. Is what it is. Whether or not you send anything today, you're still getting your shout outs because I'm not that type of asshole, guys. I'm not going to friggin' promise something and not deliver. That's bullshit. But thank you very much, sir. Again, I hope you are doing quite well. And let's see, let me go up here. Let's see. War Sniper says, fan service. I call that sin. That with Superman. Fan service? I don't know what you're talking about. Not at all. What could you possibly be saying about there with fan service? I don't know if there's any fan service in anything I ever do. Okay, down here, Lena says, people should watch Superman for themselves. Yeah, they should. They should. They absolutely should. I just hope they can enjoy it and they don't come out going, I can't believe I paid money for that. Yes, he did Quagmire. Giggity you. Honestly, that's something I got to put on. I was trying to figure out which Quagmire to do. I might just get the giggity giggity, giggity goo, and just call it that. because him just going giggity is like a 1 second clip, and unfortunately there's no delay when those start. So like this one, Dave Chappelle,
Gotcha, bitch.
You'd be amazed how many of those I had to go through because there wasn't any delay, and the gotcha was there was no G-O in it, bitch. It's like, what the hell? Let's see. War Sniper. Yep, he got the purple. It's actually starts with an N, not an M. But yes, they were the Nurples and they were purple, which is why when they got up to him, they're like, "Are they dead?" No, they're just really cold. How can you tell? They're purple. Let's see. Yeah, Titanfall not playing. I'm sorry. I'm so used to saying Planetfall, it just didn't occur to me. I don't play Titanfall. I don't get a lot of games, guys. It is what it is. Let's see. Guard says, I saw one where the alien said, hold on, let me get you an alien voice here. Nothing that, okay. We'll do this one, large robot.
I was doing a honorable fight with a human. No weapons, no augmentations. Then I heard one yell, "Twist his dick, Michael." I pissed myself and gave up right there.
I don't remember hearing that one. However, I'm here going on, and you guys have been going crazy tonight. Makes me want to go, what? What the fuck? And we have a $10 super chat from the Sage, the Guardian Sage. And let me write this down real quick before I forget. And he says, to be or not to be. Says someone to the Bible. Oh, I be. I be for sure. I be so much that people wonder, can I not be so much? Because I tend to be too much. I don't even know if that made sense. All right, here we go. See, Lena says, children could watch RoboCop on TV back then. I remember. You're right. You used to be able to watch that. And that was all practical effects. When the guy's hand got blown up by the shotgun, even I might have been like 5 or 6. I was like, oh, what the hell? And of course, right there, my sister's reaching around trying to cover my face. I'm like, my little sister's over there watching the same thing. Why don't you cover her face? But it's just like, but yeah, that was all gruesome, all practical effects, and it was PG-13. It would not pass the censors today. Why? Because everybody is too sensitive. Wah. Here's your blue pill. Now, fuck off. That's all I can say. There's Guard with his "Catch me if you can, He-Man." Erica here going, Gargoyles, X-Men, X-Files, and New Adventures of Johnny Quest and Batman the Animated Series were my favorite as a kid. Yes, Gargoyles was pretty good. It got a little weird during the last season that was on there. I think they called it the Goliath Chronicles. I mean, it got really... But X-Men was surprisingly adult. It wasn't as in-depth as it should be. I never really got into the X-Files. I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that they were just spinning their wheels, and through the whole thing, you're always being told, oh, yeah, we're just feeding them crumbs in the wrong direction. We're feeding them bad intel, so they're running around spinning their wheels. And yet they still come across some weird shit, but still. Never really got into Johnny Quest much. I don't know why. I just never did. Just never really went to me. I know they actually tried to bring it back at one point with some sort of VR thing that was like the old reboot CGI or like Beast Wars or something. Actually, no, Beast Wars was later because it was even better than that, and it was really bad. If I'm saying it was worse than Beast Wars. But yeah, Batman was always always a kicker. Still noted as the best animated series ever. So yeah, that's why I say everybody should. War Sniper here is not that I'm that dense, but a woman has to tell me to F her. Otherwise, whatever she does, I won't do it because I can see it and then have a situation that I'm being called a creep. Yes, that's what happens when you have what's known as a litigious society, where everything has to be basically documented. You do realize I could go down to redonkulous.com right now and download the coitus consent form. If you guys want, I'll see what I can do about getting it, and I'll post it. I'll put the link to it in the next live stream. But yes, there is such a thing. It's been in the Army since, I believe, the 70s is when it first came out. It's been updated since then, of course. But everything you're going to do is written down on there, and you have to sign the bottom, both of you, which is kind of weird. But then again, it's not like I might know a few people where this kept them from getting charges dropped on them. Just maybe. But yeah, on that one, I actually told this story back on Redonkulous. And here's one that just, I'm sorry, but women think that guys are the only creeps. I'm sorry, this creeped me out so bad. It's after a party. We're in the back room, well, in the bedroom, which was towards the back. We're making out in a corner, and she actually grabs my wrist, puts my hand up to her neck. I said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Choke me. I like it." I'm like, no. I literally just picked her up off of me, put her off to the side, and I walked out, and she was confused. Like, why? What's going on? I'm like, I'm not getting arrested today. Are you drunk, high, or stupid? Because no. Not only no, but ugh. I'm like, that's just, makes me want to have a drink. Oh, wait, I have one. It ain't alcoholic, but anyways. Oh, shit. Wrong button. There we go. Almost clicked the wrong one over here. But yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I don't have the notebook close to me. It's actually right over there. I'm doing actually another video on the Crazy Uncle channel on rules for first date. And never, ever vary from those. Okay. And yeah. One of the rules is actually to have protection in your pocket and check the expiration date. And you actually, if it's in your wallet, you actually take that expiration date, divide it in half. If you're even close to that, get another one, because that shit doesn't last very long in that environment. All right. After that side note, Erica says, Scarlet and Calamity Jane from a cartoon series were the women I wanted to be when I grew up. Scarlet and Calamity. Wait a minute. Is that the Cowboys of Moo Mesa that I grew up with? That's all I can think of right now, Calamity Jane, because they actually did have one called Calamity Jane on there. It could be different. I'm not sure, but that's, yeah. I'm with you, War Sniper. Who is that? I'm not sure. The thing is, Scarlet's not an uncommon name, especially when I was a kid. It's very rare now. Yeah, War Sniper. I know a lot of Scarlets. Hold on. But would be the right ones, I think. Yeah. Scarlet from G.I. Joe. I'll send you the links. Okay. By the way, if you haven't noticed, this one's CGI. This is a complete CGI setup, and I actually have to remove that because I just realized that I might lose the stream because of that one. I just realized I clicked on these real fast, getting them ready, and I realized now what was poking out the front of that. And I'm just like, oh god, I'm gonna get in trouble. Shit. Let's see. Guard says, oh yes, the Fat Man launcher from Fallout. Fat Man. One of the most broken and OP weapons in the entire game. A literal one-hit wonder because almost nothing survives the first hit. Well, it's a fucking nuke. Yeah, it's he trolled a tactical nuke with that Fallout. Yeah. It makes me wonder what other clips might be here. We got nope, that was that one. Okay, these next ones are pretty long, so I'll hold those till later. I think one was the boat. I think these were sent before, but I'm not completely sure. Ooh, excuse me. Oh. Okay, sorry, this thing just jumped on me, and let me see. Guard saying, and if it survives the first nuke, then you might want to change your pants because that means you're in trouble. Yeah. You know, you can actually make nukes smaller than my pinky nail, and they're effective. They're not very big, but they're effective. A lot of people think bigger nukes are what everybody's going for. No, they're trying to get the smaller and smaller ones. But the thing is, once we have different power sources, nukes are going to be beyond pointless. Warsnap says, Sin, that show throw a link under one of your videos when I know when it happens so we can watch it. Okay, yeah, if I know in advance, I will put it into the comment section of the videos. Lena says, usually I'm like watching dark fantasy movies. What type of dark fantasies, Leonid? Remember, we're trying to keep this family friendly, but then again, there might be enough tail around for everybody. Let's see. Alan says, yeah, he is young. Let's see. Guard says, oh, for Titanfall 2, that was the game I was talking about. Yep. Guardian, is sweet corn actually GMO? Not all of it. A lot of times what they'll do, not always, they're supposed to, but they don't. If it's GMO, when it's actually in the grocery store, they want to chop the tassels off, and that's to show it's GMO. But they don't have to mark it as GMO. If you want non-GMO food, you got to grow it yourself. It reminds me of that song Old Hippie, where it says, consuming what he's growing nowadays for self-defense. Yeah, pretty much. And unfortunately, there is a lot of sweet corn that is GMO. The kicker is, even though corn is delicious, the majority of corn grown in this country before the full industrial era, corn wasn't meant for human consumption. Corn was something you saved up to feed your livestock during the winter. You fed it to your chickens. You fed it to your pigs. That was what kept them going through the harsher months. It wasn't meant for, it's too starchy, honestly, for the human body to go through, which is why you'll actually notice if you have corn for dinner, like 2 or 3 corn cobs, the next day you're seeing it again, and it's probably flying out of you violently. And a few, you're probably thinking, excuse me, do we need to talk about this? Well, you guys brought it up. So, yes, Monsanto's is evil. They are fully evil there, Chris. You are extremely correct on that. Okay, Douglas says, diabetes is a real wanker sin, and the associated neuropathy can ruin the nerves for the parts, which is true. I've known, off the top of my head, I can think of 3 people I know with diabetes. One, it was basically starter diabetes. He changed his diet within a year he was done. One of the others, he was young when he was diagnosed. He changed his entire diet. He refused to take the shots. He no longer is diabetic. The doctor was pissed. The third one, he was about my age now when he was diagnosed diabetic. It took longer. He does not like his lifestyle where he has to really watch what he eats, but he doesn't have to take shots either. He doesn't even have to check his glucose level. He's fine. He will never be officially cleared of it, but the younger you catch it, the better off you are. But yes, it can mess that up to the point where you're going to need different pills. Lena says there are 14 plus classes of death worlds. Yes, they go up into the 20s. Again, depends on how you count them. How many classes of things that can hurt you. Let's see. Alan says trying to find a non-GMO is almost impossible, unfortunately, due to loose labeling. Yes, everything loose is bad for you. We're men. Or most of us here are men. We know that. And Erica, I know you're laughing. Chris says, kind of like most organic food in the supermarket aren't really organic. Well, it depends on how you classify organic. Was it grown without any type of chemicals? Because if it is, you could classify it as organic. It is near impossible to get a plant that has been crossbred with something else. It is what it is. Let's see. Guardian says, well, a warp core going critical can affect the fabric of space-time. Well, I don't know much about the warp cores. I do know there are other ones that can definitely do that.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Well, something is right. We have a doc. It's Steve Ulig, and I hope I pronounced that right. I'm just writing this down. And he sends a $10 super sticker. He's got a star. He starred me. No, you guys are the stars tonight, not me. I am definitely not the star. And thank you very much, Steve. Very much appreciated. And just so you know, you didn't have to do that. Everybody tonight, regardless, you're going to get your shout outs from last week. It's still going to go in. But I do appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. I appreciate you guys all being here. You guys are the shit because, as it always says on my glass, you guys are bad motherfuckers. And let me scroll back up here for a second here. Okay. Let's see. Guard says that Asian girl definitely has the most cake out of everyone's since yet for his stuff, for his butt stuff. Hey, I'm not into butt stuff. You messed up SOB. What the hell? I'm not like a okay, I gotta tell you guys this because this was just messed up. I thought this was just something that I would see on one of these weird videos where somebody's walking along dressed like Josie and the Pussycats. They grab the tail, and when they yank the tail out thinking it's Velcro, no, there's something shiny and metal and shaped like an egg on the end. I'm like, okay, I'm never going to ever see this sort of thing. Unfortunately, Halloween, my girlfriend's best friend, she kept complaining how her tail hurts. I couldn't understand why the tail on her cat costume hurt. It was just hanging there, swaying in the breeze. I was like, why in the hell would your tail hurt? Just get out there on the dance floor. And I slapped her on the ass to get her to move, and she actually yiped. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Without skipping a beat, my girlfriend goes this, grabs the tail, yanks it out as hard as she can. I hear another yipe. Her friend is on the ground, actually holding her both cheeks in her hand, squatted down on her heels. I'm like, what the hell? I look over. She's like, she shouldn't have been wearing this. I'm just like, oh my God, we got to leave now. We have to leave now. You know what? You guys can stay here. I'm leaving now because I don't want to be part of this. And I'm walking out the door. I'm laughing so hard. And it's I knew the owner of the club. His name was Kendall. He's watching me walk out. He's asking me, what's going on? And I can't talk. I'm laughing so freaking hard at the absurdity of everything. I get outside. I literally drop to my knees and I'm busting out laughing. Here comes my best friend. He comes out. He's like, dude, did I just see what I think I saw? I'm like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I can't stand up. He's like, he's like, we got to go back in there. I'm like, yeah, but not for 10 minutes. You ever laugh so hard you're not making noise anymore and you're physically in pain, but you can't stop? That's where I was. Still, it's because of this. I'm like, oh, God damn. Oh, man, that was funny. Oh, okay. I needed that laugh. Okay. Douglas up here says the sheer amount of small critters that can kill us is outstanding. That's actually true. That's very true, which is why next time I go to the VA, I'm going to tell them to give me a full blood test for every single possible blood, insect-borne anything I can get, from Lyme's disease to, I don't know, a rash. And I'm going to say, find everything, and I'll take the pills for 6 weeks and I'll just purge everything out of my system. Not going to be fun, but then again, you guys can't see it, but I got a plethora of pills here I got to take every day just for general maintenance. But yeah, just got to take care of yourself, and that's it. Makes me kind of wish that certain technology would be released so that we could just kind of fix our fucking meat suits and get it over with. I was actually telling a friend of my dad's, and she's, I don't know, 78, I think she said. I said, yeah, we release certain technologies. You're not going to feel 78. She's like, oh, it's going to make me feel older. I'm like, no, it regenerates you. And she looked at me sideways. She had no idea what I was talking about. I said, no, you'll feel younger because you will be. She's like, oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, I would assume so. Let's see. Guard says, Dr. Xavier's counter to Magneto Holocaust flashbacks proceeds to show Magneto's literal memories of the Holocaust. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure that's a memory people like to forget. He continues with that's actually a whole comedy skit video where Xavier uses that, and he's like, wait, are you using my own memories against him? He's like, wait, those are yours? I don't know. I just picked random ones. The only true superhero comedy skit, which is beyond hilarious, is the whole Batman one where he's talking with Bane after Talia stabs him. And I don't know how those guys kept a straight face. I'd be, again, on the ground laughing until I fart. I mean, it's just even then I'd laugh even harder. Just, yeah. Guard says, still one of the funniest moments in the Beast Wars series. I'm missing something on that one. Something got screwed up on that. See, Guardian says, yeah, the original writer director of Gargoyles wasn't involved in the second season. As a result, it wasn't going anywhere near as good because they tried to simplify things for children. Yep. That's what happens when you lose the original writer. And a lot of these productions don't understand. You can't alter something from its original content. That's why you have a team of writers, because not only do they start off with a basic premise off usually one person, but they'll actually catch that one person from actually doing something that contradicts the original story. They'll actually keep each other on task, and they'll bring up different ideas and whatnot, and it works. Like I said, if they say I get a call from Hollywood or Holly Weird, and they said, look, come here 3 months, write a script for whatever it might be. We'll pay you like 40 grand. We'll also pay you room and board while you're here. After that, you fuck off and the story's ours. Okay, whatever. As long as it's not one of my originals, I'll do it. And honestly, 40 grand, that's a lot cheaper than the rest of them are getting. But 40 grand for 3 months, that's not too bad. Not around here. That's not bad at all. Let's see. Guard says, is when that version of Megatron tries to take out Primal with his sniper arm, and it just keeps zooming in closer to his face while his face gets more and more detailed. Oh, okay. That's the funniest moments. It's like, and all of a sudden he's like, Hi, Primal. How you doing? Let's see. Lena says, I remember that in the Matrix, the enemy was aliens. What happened during those 4 movies didn't matter because it was an internal civil war and aliens were external. Really? I didn't see the latest Matrix movie, so maybe this is something I just didn't know. That's interesting. I didn't know they actually brought aliens into that. Now let's see. Lena says, Fat Man Nuke from Fallout has a Merv multiplier, total carnage. I'm trying to remember multi-entry something vehicle. That's what the Merv is. For those that don't know, a Merv is literally multiple warheads condensed into one, but they don't actually explode at the same time. They're meant to, at a certain point, the warhead pops and they spread out to a certain degree so that they get more of an explosion out to the side. That's what a Merv is supposed to do. Let's see. That's Steve saying hi, and everyone's saying, make sure you say hi to Steve, everybody. Make sure he's good to go. Lena says, I started watching Clevatis anime. I don't know what that is. Clevatis, I don't know, cleaving something off. I don't know what the hell's going on. Huh, strange. Steve says, just to thank you for all the fine work, bro. Night. Oh, he's already, and you're leaving already. What the hell, man? I'm just joshing with you a little bit. Thanks for being here, Doc. Appreciate it a lot. And yes, guys, he sent me a message. He's a doc. He's a medic. So yeah. And which is why usually when I do his shout out, he actually gets a doc of some sort on there. Now I'm going to stop short. Obviously, since his name's Steve, I'm not going to put Mercy from Fortnite on there, but still going to get somebody. You know, like Desmond Doss. Whew. Let's see. Where was I? Down here. Whoa. Okay. I hate when this thing jumps, guys. What's going on with this thing jumping? Erica says, that's not the kind of fuzzy cat costume I was expecting. Yeah, well, how many women go out on Halloween as a sexy cat and seriously, you're wondering if they like forgot to buy the other half of the costume? I actually had that happen with a ex of mine. We went out to a costume party and she goes, I'm ready. I turn around. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. She's like, why? What's wrong with this? I'm like, listen, Lady Godiva. And by the way, that reference went right over her head. I was like, look, I'm going to be driving tonight with the windows down because it's like 70 degrees outside, almost 80. I'm not getting pulled over because you're going to flash a cop, because I know that's the kind of shit you do. Go and put something else on, or else we're not going. You can drive yourself. But if I drive, I can't drink. Not my problem. And yes, she was kind of dressed up as a cat, but I kid you not. She had long hair, so it kind of covered the front a little bit, but all she had to do was flick her hair, and she was almost totally exposed. The cat collar was around this section here. And I kid you not, she had to wear a purse because there was no pockets. She was wearing around her waist. I'm sitting there like, what the hell? It's like all the fabric was those boots, which almost went all the way up her leg, which honestly, she ended up not wearing for more than about an hour. They were plastic. And I don't know if anybody around here has actually worn dress shoes for a long time, those plastic dress shoes that don't breathe. It is beyond uncomfortable. Now think that all the way up your leg. No joke, I ended up having to rub her legs down with aloe because she was starting to just sweat so bad she was actually blistering. It was terrible. Now that story's out of the way, let me get up here. This is Alan says, ouch, that level of test will both arms and test spot. Yeah. Let's see. Chris says, speaking of hidden tech and evil plans, I'll shoot you an email of a non-classified doc that's been going around now. I will find it interesting. By the way, in my inbox, yes, I do have a story that has been sitting there. I just haven't got around to that one because, again, it's been really tight, and most everything I've been doing is off the cuff because I don't have time to sit and do more than a couple of notes. I'd show you the notes from last night. They're actually, again, they're sitting over there, maybe 20 feet from me. But it's not more than a page, maybe a page and a half of notes to make an entire story on. Thankfully, as long as I stop myself from taking these long breathers, but, you know, a man's got to actually inhale, then everything still flows. A lot of what you guys don't see is sometimes if I do something off the cuff, I'm sitting here with my eyes closed and I'm just leaning in kind of like this, and I'm just letting the creative juices flow. Unfortunately, that means I have to stop every once in a while, go, what the hell am I doing again? And then I got to go back, listen to the whole thing, re-record if I fuck it up. It's a whole deal. But yes, Chris, I will be looking forward to that email very much. Just send it. Okay, good. Guardian saying, unfortunately, have to go to bed, have to be up at 02 Eastern Standard Time. Oy, Chihuahua. That's 6 hours from now. That's not cool. Not that I'm getting that much more sleep either. Chris says, when you read it, you'll know where it's going and be pissed. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something that I have a somewhat knowledge on, but then again, I don't know everything, obviously. Erica here with story idea. Hold on. Let me work. Story idea. And yes, I have to say it that way because I really like the movie Hot Fudge. It's like, what do you think? Idea. Okay, so there's an alien species that is just as creative, as smart, fast, and as strong as us. Hold on a sec. But they are so peaceful that they don't have a word for war. The reptilians. Hold on. Sorry, I got a weird notification here. The reptilians that ducked with our ancient ancestors are trying to enslave them and do worse to this new species than what they did to us humans. Ooh. So another type of human. Total pussy fists. Yeah, I know you mean pacifists, but, you know, this is what I say to people. It's like, why can't we just stop war, man? Let's see. Reptilian. Let's see. Trying to enslave. And I got the thing is got to write this down because as soon as I leave, the chat box disappears. Or worse. Okay. Another type of human who are pacifists, reptilians trying to enslave or worse. All right. I will see what the old thinking meat comes up with. Let me get old no butt off the screen here. Warsnammer says, you have to protect your women, Sin, even if it's against her will. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is the case. And which is, it's kind of weird because I've actually dated women who are very conservative, who are very cool about this thing. And if you say, whoa, put another layer on, they'll actually just go and say, screw it, I'll put another layer on, whatever. Now, on that same note, and this is one of the ones I wish we had actually dated longer, but I moved and she refused to move with me. Think of one of the most conservative looking women you've ever seen. You know, always pulling her hair back, usually in a ponytail. She didn't wear glasses or anything, but she was really, really petite and really calm, always soft spoken and everything. However, once you remove that outer layer, that woman, I swear, spent so much money at Victoria's Secret. I really don't want to see her credit card bill. And I'm just like, the only problem is she was a little more adventurous than I could possibly be. As conservative as she was outside, she was literally the lady in the streets, freak in the sheets that every guy wants. And I'm just like, why did I have to move? Oh, I even put the paperwork in to stay. And they told me, nope, that ain't going to happen. So, I mean, it is what it is. She didn't want to move over to the East Coast, and I'm over towards the East Coast and not quite there, but I'm close. And yeah, I could understand why she wouldn't want to move over this way. Alan says, not all women are mice, Sniper. My wife has a kung fu level in frying pan. You got to be careful with those frying pans. They are strong enough to kill you. I have a actual cast iron one in the kitchen right now, and I have actually used it once to knock a nail into a piece of wood. No joke. Before I cleaned it up, I had found it, and I just, does this work? Clang. Well, son of a bitch. Remind me not to be hit by this thing. They got some weight in them. Now, if you get the Teflon coated ones, those things are a little softer, but not by much. They don't have a lot of weight to them either, so they really got to swing. That being said, if she strikes you with anything, I'm sorry, dude. It's time to start looking at paperwork at that point. You just tell them once, do not strike me. Do not strike me, or we're going to have to be on our own. This ain't going to work. And it's the same way if a guy strikes a woman. It's just, that I was there when, we were all drinking. She tried to claim he hit her. He actually turned sideways and went, what? And as he turned, he knocked her back. And this was his girlfriend, now wife, by the way. They did stay together. But she actually started looking into what she could do to bring charges. Because she's like, oh, he hit me. And we're like, he didn't hit you. You want to see the video? We actually have video. When she was finally sober after a couple of days, she watched it and goes, oh, I guess he didn't hit me. No shit. Now, if it's deliberate, there's no excuse for that. Okay? It is what it is. Once you start bringing physical violence into a situation, that's no longer a relationship, it's a relation shit, and all shits need to be flushed. All right, down here, Lena says, technically, I've heard about several types of UFO. There are Tic Tacs, eggs, discs, and cigars. The cigars are basically the limo version of the Tic Tac, yeah. Now, apparently, there's actually another one, which is the triangle type. Apparently, now this is what is coming through. The Tic Tac and the triangle types are man-made. As far as the eggs, I don't know. As far as the discs, pretty sure that's man-made. Nothing confirmed. However, it's a pretty safe bet. As far as the actual cigars go, that might be what they're shaping the Tic Tac off of. Now, are there different types? Of course they are. But it's coming out that they do have this technology, which is why I said last week they're going to try and push Project Bluebeam really hard, because once it comes out to the general public that they have this technology, everybody's going to be like, okay, let's use this to better ourselves. And they're not going to want to do that. Think of this. Now, obviously, War Sniper being 26, 27 years old, this is not going to really matter to him. But somebody like me, if they said, look, you're of your age, we can bring you back to your prime at 23 years old, 24 years old, whenever the hell you stop growing. My family, we stopped growing late, most of us. And when you do that, all your joints are going to be repaired. All the tears of your muscles are going to be repaired. All your internal issues are going to be gone. It's going to be like a brand new you. But if you do this, and by the way, you will remain that age. You will not actually age. You will regenerate. However, your retirement is going to be gone. I will look at it as now, this is how I figure it will go when this technology is finally released. If you work at a 20-year retirement job, you will get 20 years retirement. They're going to at least owe you that much. Whether or not you take the regenerative and rejuvenative stuff, you get your 20 years. After that, veterans, you still have VA and stuff like that, but that's as far as it goes. Your disabilities are going to be gone because they can fully fix you at that point. It is what it is. I don't think that's such a bad deal, because by the time you finish up your 20 years retirement, you're finishing up 20 years retirement in another job, or you're building up a 401k or a Roth or whatever it might be. And you can spend 50, 60, maybe 100 years working different jobs, saving a shit ton of cash, getting a bunch of resources, and then living the motherfucking high life. Okay. Or you can piss it away as you go with all these vacations. Different strokes for different folks. So anyway, that's the way I see it with this new tech. Even if we don't get a full-on actual alien invasion, they're going to use this so they can roll out the technology so they don't get sued. If they say, oh, this is all alien technology that we recovered, it's not something we had hidden from you for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Oh, no, if we did that, then you'd be able to sue us for the loss of life of your friends and your family members that we could have saved, but we didn't because we were hiding this technology, just like some queen did when it came down to indoor plumbing. Because of her, it was hidden for what, 200 years, 300 years, some shit like that, no pun intended. And yeah, it is. It's okay. You guys know where I'm going on this. I could sit here and rant, but I'm not going to. Besides, I'm overheating like a motherfucker in here, and I got the AC on. Steve says, we can't stop war because we exist. Some of us fight even when we are done fighting. Yeah, that's true. That's true. This is why I don't like the fireworks on the 4th of July. The kids up the street. I mean, kids will be kids. I'm not going to go out and yell at them. But I'm sorry. I do not want to roll out of that bed, hit the floor, and be reaching for a rifle. It's not fun for me. As everybody in my family actually knows, if you're going to wake me up, tap me on the shoes or tap me on the feet, because you tap a soldier on their feet, that's, dude, it's time for guard. Wake up. You shake their shoulder, that is, you better be up and ready to kill somebody like now. And I've almost punched my nephew in the face. I've almost clocked my brother. I've almost hit I don't want that shit. You're right. You carry that with you for a long time. It never does go away. Chris saying, I hate how much I miss fighting in the sandbox. You miss the camaraderie. You miss being with your buddies. You miss being young and full of piss and vinegar. Young, dumb, and full of something that rhymes with dumb, that sort of thing. Yeah, I miss it too. I had some shit times over there. Actually, some crazy hated at times, but there was some good times. I can't say there weren't. Sometimes you had to wait a long time before you actually got your chance to do things right. Case in point, for some reason, when they moved me over to Charlie Company, I was treated like total dog shit. I didn't find out until later that they actually held a formation and said, since the guy I was replacing was a piece of shit, I must be a piece of shit. Don't give him any respect. So what the fuck? So I treated my guys with the respect that I showed as much as possible. I tried to do as much as I could. And then lo and behold, as we're getting over to Kuwait, I tell them, look, limit yourself to one dessert. Stay out of the short order line until we get out of Kuwait. Let your body acclimate, because if you don't, you're not going to be good for anybody. Well, the acting platoon sergeant decided he was going to be big boss man, and he actually marched my guys directly in the short order line, forced them to order double, told them that they couldn't leave until they had at least 3 desserts apiece, plus all that junk food. The next day, we were combat ineffective. I was on my feet, and one of my team leaders was on his feet, and he wasn't doing all that good. Everybody else was just green. And I'm not even being facetious there. They looked green. One of the guys, when I went to go check on him, he just bolted out the door, ran to the latrine, and puked. However, when we finally got our actual platoon sergeant, who had stayed behind to watch his kid being born, he chewed that motherfucker out something fierce. I was actually going to check in with the platoon sergeant, and here comes one. He was, hey, no, you don't want to be down there. You don't want to go that way. Like, what? Why? Our platoon sergeant's back. Oh, yeah, I want to go say hi to him. Oh, no, he's chewing Fisk out something fierce. I was like, why? What'd he say? He's like, well, there's something about it's your squad, and you can do what you want with them. I'm like, okay, this ought to be interesting. Yeah. Brian saying she's June Cleaver. I don't know. I don't know if June Cleaver was that much of a freak. Let's see. Lena says here, defending your borders is fine. Pointless wars, nobody wants that. That's true. That's true. It's always fine to protect your land. Always. Just make sure it's yours. You don't want to be in the wrong on that one. Alan says, never happened on either side. 20 plus honeymoon. Okay. Hey, Ava's here. Hey, Ava. Hey, how you doing? Hey, excuse me, but hopefully I didn't piss you off last time. I know you weren't around for long last live stream, but hey, it's good to know your abouts. And hey, you still doing the whole video game there, the sky jumper, hell jumper thing? And just out of curiosity. Steve says, yeah, Leonid, you forgot about the Aurora Triangle. Yep, I heard about that. Yeah, I mentioned that. And Ava's here. Yay, my internet is being glitchy. I hope you guys have a good stream. Really? You're having trouble again? Oh man, you might want to check your provider. That's messed up. Lena says, what do you expect to find on Mars? Rocks. I don't expect to find anything but rocks and ice. If there's actual like liquid water there, that's a plus. But aside from that, you might find a shit ton of radiation. But as for what we would find or who we would find on Mars, I don't think much. That being said, I do think if there's anything still alive, it's going to be under the surface. So what will we find in Mars? That's going to be interesting. It's Chris here with the Bush's family recipe. Come on, roll that beautiful bean footage. And once again, he comes back. I think we should just trust the science and not question anything, because not questioning science is how that works. Right. Right. It's not like trusting the science actually turned somebody who was a actual gym rat that I knew into an almost complete invalid. And that even thinking about that pisses me off something fierce, guys. It really does. It's just picture, if you will, somebody who, when he takes his shirt off, you think he's literally chiseled out of granite, not marble, actual granite. I mean, just you see all the bumps, and he's not even a jerk about it either. He's just like, "Yep, I work out a little bit, a little bit, okay." And he took all the supplements that he needed. He cut carbs when he needed. He did everything right. He took one shot. If he goes on an excessively long run like he used to, he's most likely now going to die. He's got so many freaking clots in his system. It's nuts. I warned him that was going to happen too. Okay. And War Sniper saying, Hell Divers too, Sin. Yep, you're right. And we're going to see how many more people jump into the chat. But we've been going for about 2 hours now, which is about where we usually go. So we'll see what actually shows up. Excuse me. Oh, it keeps coming up. I must be drinking too much. But then again, you never know what's going to go on. But at least I'm not drinking something that's going to turn my breath into fire. Come on, guys. I had to do it. That's a little too easy to do that. It's too bad when I look back to the bed, I don't see, something that would, never mind. You know what? I'm not even going to do that joke. I'm not even going to do that joke. That'll definitely get the stream kicked. Hey, Rage is here. How you doing, Rage? We've been going on for about 2 hours, so we're not going to be going on too much longer. I'm actually waiting for people to jump in. I'm going to go to the media assets. First off, I'm going to put the banner up to remind everybody, don't forget to double check to make sure you are still subscribed, people. Reason being, for some reason, everybody's getting unsubscribed left and right. And let me go into media and let's see what this clip was sent to me and I haven't seen it. I'm not sure if it's the right one. And here we go.
Torpedo's recht voor ons. Torpedo's aan bakboord.
Ik heb vuurondersteuning nodig.
Het vijandelijke team heeft de leiding genomen. Torpedo's recht vooruit. Torpedo's recht voor ons. Probleem opgelost, kapitein.
Okay, I came back into the chats and dude, Rage, wow. I don't have much here. I'm gonna go into my stuff here. I'm gonna look up something really quick, and I'm gonna put the link. All right. I'm going to put this link in here, and this is this is from a couple of my buddies down at Redonkulous. Has actually came up with these recipes to help this, okay, help your shit. There's actually another small regiment that goes with it, and this is to actually fight that shit, not actually just help with symptoms, but to actually fight that shit. Okay. I firmly believe there are cures for everything. I am a firm believer in that. The fact that we're not allowed to actually get the cures for it is something that just pisses me off something fierce. So do yourself a favor, Rage, copy and paste that link, look into it after the stream. All I can say is you do you, and I can, everybody, if you can, we'll raise a glass. We got Sir, and now we got Rage, and here's to your health, my friend. Dude, that yeah, like Sniper said, oh shit. And yeah, wow. Looks like Erica's leaving too. Yeah, everyone's with you here, Outrage. Yeah, that's that. Wow. I actually lost somebody really beyond close to me because of that shit. So I take it a little personal. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I'm at a loss for words on that. Just like when Sir came up. But what can I do? All I can do is, give you that link and say good luck. That's all I really can do. So yeah, I keep us posted, Rage. Okay, just keep us posted on that, and we'll. Everyone here is going to be asking every time you come in, how you doing? Just give us an update, better, worse, whatever. Hopefully within a couple months, completely cleaned out. And and right there with like Brian, it's like our prayers are with you, man. It's just like Sir, it's just hopefully you're not as far along as Sir is. So yeah, god damn, ooh. You guys hurting me now. You guys are hurting me because I don't wish that on my worst. Well, maybe on my worst enemy, but you're not him. So yeah. Anyways, you know what, Steve? Now you make me wish I got the yogurt one that says the Schwartzby, would you? Whatever. Hopefully, you can enjoy the sights like what's on the screen. While you're still kicking about and kicking some ass, right? So anyways, so let me go through my notes here to make sure I covered everything. Let's see. There's War Sniper wanting the Barrett 50 caliber there. Let's see, Death Note done right, 80s cartoons. And of course, how a lot of these aliens would look at us because they don't have any hair. They would look at us if we were dating and go, they're furry. They're quite furry. Really furry. That's what they would say about us. Let's see, there's this thing about Superman. Something familiar, which I haven't recorded, but I got pretty much written down for Sunday. Let's see, sci-fi gravities, which are kind of weird. And yep, there's the whole thing about weapons, guys. That's what we started out on tonight's show, talking about if you are going to make a story and you're going to have your fixed weapon systems on your ship, make sure it's hooked into the engine really good. And depending on how you use it, it's going to be either volley fire at ranges that are going to boggle the freaking mind, or you're going to be sweeping with a single beam to try and slice a whole bunch together. The thing is, if there's time for them to move, they're going to move out of the way. It's just the way it is. Let's see. Alan saying, gotta run for time with tonight's show. Yep. Yeah, like I said, we've going, let's see, 2 hours and 10 minutes by my counter up here. So, and like I said, I got through just about everything. So, let me see here. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send out my thank yous very much to everybody who has been sending in the super chats. It's Brian, Douglas, Erica, Demon, Guard, Chris, Sir, Guard, and Steve. Thank you very, very much. And thank everybody else for being here. Let me go up, make sure I didn't forget nobody here. And yep, nope, yep. Let's see. Let's see. Brian's already cutting off here. So, safety brief, everybody, really quick. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, feel free to beat their ass. It is always easier to explain to the cops why you broke your buddy's nose than it is to explain to their spouse why they're not coming home. If your little soldier's going to the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. No matter how good the wood is, it won't get nice and hot if it's all messed up. Anyways, let's see. What else? You know, take care of yourselves. Again, on the roads, guys, there's a lot of critters to include a lot of fawns around. If you see a deer, slow down because there's another one somewhere around there. It's going to happen. It's just going to be there. It's just a thing. It's better off you slow down and piss off the guy behind you than have to replace your headlights, your grill, and most likely your windshield. And by the way, if those deer come through the windshield legs first, that's like spears, man. They're going to turn you into a kebab one way or another. They'll tenderize you first real bad because you can't block those things. Again, more people actually die from deer than die from bear in this country. So keep that in mind. So aside from that, Steve saying thanks for the stories. You are quite welcome. And I don't have too much else to say. We ran out of stuff. I ran out of notes. So this is going to be the end of tonight on Syntax Live. Make sure you guys get enough sleep so you can say,
Wake me when you need me.
And all that other fun stuff. Thankfully, the soundboard's working decent tonight. And one of these times I'm going to have actually have an outro video. But for right now, all I can say, guys, is take care. And you know what it is?
Game over, man. It's game over.